There's an ending too. As the goal come across many great moons. Be like lights beneath. Colors of love that sexy.
Oh shit.
The pictures fade away. Will remain the same.
Yo, Kami, how's it going, buddy? How you doing? I do love glizzy hot dogs. I do love hot dogs. Guzzle. Good. Heat wave went away for not coming back next week. Let's go the gone for now, not the coming back part. Okay, we focus on the now. Okay, why sully the now with the future? Okay, miscreant, rogue, ruffian, scoundrel. Yo, Chris, how's it going, man? Did you you're getting? I'm sorry. I have like 5 different thoughts, and I tried to voice all of them at the same time, and I couldn't voice them any of them. Okay. Yes. Okay. That was gonna be my first question. Did you get your internet? So that's good. You said your furniture is coming sometime this week, right? I think I heard this. I'm not making this up. I think it only gets back to 30 when we're at like 40. Let's go. All right, still huge. Big difference. 7 degrees at that point. A huge difference. Chris here, how's it going, man? Tomorrow? Let's go! Nice, man. Good for you. Genuinely happy for you. I know how stressful the last couple of weeks have been for you, so I'm glad. Strunk, snarf, guzzle, Ludovich. Fuck. Don't ask me what that was intended to be, okay? I couldn't tell you. Harsh, how's it going? I looked how to cut in the middle of a song because the change of vibe didn't fit and went through like 15 different shit. Doing it Windows makers in 20 seconds. I appreciate that, Kami. How's it going, man? What did you discover? I discovered that I'm dog shit at games here is what I discovered, okay? I don't want to talk about it. I fell into the fucking sun. I tried to go to like a fucking moon, and I realized apparently it has like really, really strong Newtonian physics. So like once I got close enough to the sun, no matter my thrusters could not overcome the gravity of a fucking sun. Fell into it. I then died because I ran out of oxygen on this shithole planet. I don't know. Everyone said like it's like I don't know. Nagito said like it's like his favorite planet to explore. There was fucking nothing there. He was a liar. It was fucking useless. You can overcome it, but it's counterintuitive. Doubt it. Woofer. A subwoofer? Like a speaker? Crush. Guzzle. Inhale. Snarf. Embark. Shit. Strunk. I could crush a beer right now. That would work. Let's go! Okay. Alright, we got a chance, boys. We got one. If you had one opportunity, one chance. I don't remember the rest of the line. cabinet cone magnet. Oh my god, I wasn't even wrong. I just didn't think of it. Or I did not know these either, so I was not gonna get it. Ending parts in a tree. Shit. Dog shit. Genuinely dog shit. I'm so mad I've become Danets. This is how mad that final category got me. What the fuck? Needs to boost to up your orbital energy, like the way things orbit. Oh, instead of going out, you go... Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, like use it as a slingshot instead of trying to directly overpower the gravity. That could work. Oh, clever. Okay, I didn't think of that. I did not think of that in the instant. Because in the moment, you just think of straight pulling away, but that makes sense. That does make sense. I can see how that would work. Both in real life and in game. Using the gravity to slingshot your way out, rather than trying to directly fight it. What do I'll do. Earlier, Audrey. No. Alter. Male. Later than chapter 5. Son. No, not son. Derek. Later than chapter 100. Earlier than volume 2. So late first volume. In Zone Will? Oh, I guess he was mentioned really early. Never mind. I didn't think of it that way. When was ASIC introduced? I can't remember. Oh, wow. 4th epoch. That's why the ISS orbits at a speed of... So yeah, it makes sense. Okay. So, what? Zaratul? Oh, maybe. No, but it's sequence 1. It's got to be sequence 1, so that can't be it. Well? No, Will wasn't introduced that early. Why am I being so stupid? Garen Sparrow's too late. William Augustus, maybe? No, I misclicked! Shit, I misclicked. Fuck. Yeah, but here it says 2. I'm not... Yeah, but here it says 2, so I don't know what you want from me. I think it's taking where they are currently in the story. Ouroboros, too late. Amon? Was Amon introduced this early? No, he's 2 now. Yeah, that doesn't work either. Sasrier? Sasrier was introduced way later, no? What's Sasrier? Sasrier was introduced way later. There's no way it's him. George III, Gammon Sparrow, no. George III? Could be George. The king? Fuck. Oh, I'm so fucked. I'm genuinely so fucked at this point. I got one chance. Chained God? 4th epoch? I don't know. What do we think? Chained God? Medici? I just don't... Well, which Medici? We go Medici. Mr. Door. Mr. Door. How could we miss Mr. Door, bro? That's so dumb. To him, there's something more important in life. Amon? Audrey? Isaac? Klein? This is Adam? I thought... Okay, the reason I didn't think this was Adam was I thought someone was referring to Adam. So I didn't think he would be referring to himself like this. So I was thinking of people who'd refer to Adam. I was thinking of it backwards, I guess. check on after Amon loses to Klein when he explains to Amon why he lost. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Let's see here. Heat wave. The heat is set to return after the historic heat wave. Is closely watching a potential new spell around July 6th. Ooh, cooked. Object speeds by a planet with a lot of momentum. Gravity attracts the object and planet, vice versa. But is forcibly pulled down. The result is the balance is pushing and making it in a circular orbit. Makes sense, makes sense. Okay, no, let's just do chess really quickly. No, let's just start reading, because we're in a good place. I actually want to read, and I'm tired, so let's just read. Check out COI artwork. Was there something? Oh wow, that is pretty. This is so true. The amount of COI art is literally less than the amount of art there was for the first maybe 50 chapters of Lord of the Mysteries. It's disgusting. Klein, not even that. Fucking Klein resurrecting in Zhou Mingrui's body alone probably has more artwork than all of Koi put together. It's disgusting. Orbital physics is sick. I don't know if I sound like a nerd. You do sound like a nerd, but I appreciate it. Hey, you're passionate about something. Don't ever be mad about that, okay? Don't ever talk down to yourself. If you're passionate about something, that's cool, okay? Be passionate. I'm still not sure how Jenna and Frank are supposed to look. Think of like the hottest woman you can think of, and then just go like 2 steps down. That's about it. Volume 5 artwork. This is nice. Maybe I can make this my background at this point. We need some fucking art though. Or we need some new fucking art. Maybe I'll change this. Let's just start reading. I just want to read. I don't want to do much more. I just want to read. You know the James Webb Telescope is in orbit but stays the same place always having the Earth heading the sun? Nice, that's cool. I did not know that, but that is very cool. I'm going to my favorite number in the universe, Harsh. That's all I'm gonna say. If you can't figure it out, you'll just have to yes. He got there so quick. Excess. I appreciate you, buddy. To be clear, 9/11 was a tragedy, okay? We lost 11 of our best pilots that day. God, that's Unhinged, how's it going, man? But when I do is okay. Whoa, Kami. That's out of the pale, okay? That's out of the pale. You don't make a joke of the chosen people. What is your problem? God. See, you're French, bro. What are you talking about? Before Lumion had a chance to fall asleep through cogitation. I hope we destroy you in the World Cup. Well, you first have to make it to the round of 16. You haven't even made it, have you? Excess, no. No. I don't know. I don't watch. Fuck you, bro. Before Lumin had a chance to fall asleep through cogitation, his vision suddenly darkened, his consciousness plummeting into the depths of the earth. He instinctively resisted for a moment, then experienced the sensation of leaping out of the dark seabed of the surface. His vision immediately illuminated by twilight radiance shining through a giant pane glass divided into countless small squares, bringing limited light to the darkness. In this dim light, Lumin saw a black steam locomotive with 2 oil lamps hanging from it. A domed platform at the edge of the platform near the steam train stood Madame Magician, in her cream-colored dress with gold embroidery and a wide sun-brim hat. Wait! We're in Mr. Fool's dream now, aren't we? Besides Madame Magician stood a lady in a simple green dress and a golden retriever crouching at her feet. Upon seeing the lady, Lumin felt a surprise and confusion. Another demoness? She's so beautiful, Lumin heard Franca whisper, but she doesn't seem like a demoness. Her aura is different. Unless she's already a Sequence 3. Lumin had a similar guess. The lady in green had lustrous golden hair, partly tied up in a bun with the rest flowing down smoothly. Her emerald eyes were like the most beautiful gems, yet deep enough to seemingly reflect the innermost consciousness of all who beheld them. Her features exceptionally delicate, her beauty comparable to that of a demoness. Such an aura was rare, even amongst demonesses below Sequence 3. At least, neither Franca nor Lumin had ever seen it. Moreover, Lumin found that looking at this lady didn't invoke the desire he felt when looking at demonesses. He felt peace and warmth. This feeling triggered Lumin's spiritual intuition. Combined with what Madame Magician had said earlier, he came to a conclusion and said, "Good evening, Madame Justice." The elegant green lady, clad with a hint of girlishness, must be a major arcana, Justice, one of his psychiatrists. "Good evening, Madame Justice." Anthony was the second to speak. Everyone's eyes widened. She pointed at Lumin and said, "How did you turn back into a man?" Lumin reflexively examined himself and found he wasn't wearing a black coat. The swells at his chest had subsided, and his black shirt, black vest, and trousers fit as they used to. Meanwhile, Franca was still wearing her lace-flowered blouse and cream-colored riding pants with a small leather jacket. She looked every bit like a demoness. This is entering a true dream, different from normal dreaming. Using a dream charm causes your body to dematerialize and enter the dream. Whatever you look like in reality is how you appear in the dream. Normal dreams depend on real-time perception. Your dream image may be your current self, your past self, or even an altered self, but in a true dream, you maintain consciousness. What appears will be your subconscious perception. In other words, the Seven of Wands subconsciously still considers himself male. Then what about me? Why am I still... Franca blurted out, but closed her mouth as if being struck by lightning. Accepting the present doesn't mean forgetting the past, Madame Justice comforted. As long as you remember who your past self was and what kind of life you lived, reconciling with your current body will not lead you to lose control. The acting principles of the demoness sect may not suit everyone. It depends on one's personality. Remember, everyone is special. Franca opened her mouth but couldn't bring herself to speak. Jenna quietly reached out her right hand and grasped Franca's palm. Even if this had been Lumin not long after arriving in Trier, he wouldn't have mocked Franca for claiming to be a man while unconsciously considering herself a woman, let alone now. It wasn't much different from the typical steam locomotive station, with an overpass high above and stairs leading to the underground platforms. At the edge of the overpass, a tall figure leaned against the railing, gazing this way, his black trench coat fluttering, wearing red gloves. On the stairs leading to the platform, the lady in gloomy, intricate dress carrying 4 heads, openly observing below. In contrast, halfway up the stairs stood a little boy with a mercury-colored bow tie, and at the end of the stairs was Mr. Isaac Eggers. 5 p.m. On the stairs leading to this platform, the lady in the gloomy, intricate dress carrying 4 heads was openly observing below. Wait, fuck's sake, it keeps repeating paragraphs sometimes. On the waiting chairs of Mr. Isaac's platform sat the Knight of Swords, Merrick, and the Temperance faction demigod Sharon, facing Lumin and the others. Lumin brought his gaze back and noticed the golden retriever beside Madame Magician, wearing glasses and carrying a small brown bag. Lumin recalled the dog and the female figure he had seen during his first psychological treatment. So that was Madame Justice. A pity Madame Susie isn't participating in this mission, or I could thank her in person. Madame Justice smiled and said, because you've become a demoness of despair and your subconscious knows this, you can freely switch between your subconscious self-image and your true appearance. This may help you perfect your disguises in the dream and play a crucial role. Why can't I do that? Franca silently wailed. Lies. Lie can't create good disguises because it can only perform at a sequence 7 level, and the sequence 6 faceless of the seer pathway is needed to adjust appearance and height. Yes, Lie at sequence 7 can only modify appearances to an extent, equivalent to good makeup techniques. Madame Magician nodded and looked to her golden retriever. Susie, have you anything you wish to add? Susie? Lumin's eyebrows twitched as he shifted his gaze to the bespectacled golden retriever. The dog spoke in a familiar voice. What I need to tell you is that Mr. Fool is very vigilant and cautious, not easily trusting. Hearing the dog speak, everyone except Anthony and Ludwig looked shocked, as if the dog had been called Susie. Lumin certainly wouldn't have been so astonished by an animal speaking. After a brief silence, Lumin adjusted his mindset and said, "Thank you for your reminder, and thank you for your previous treatment, Madame Susie, and yourself, Madame Justice. Having seen a child eating devil eyeballs, what's so strange about a talking dog? If they were Treerans, this would be pretty fucking normal. Maybe they just like being dogs and found a way to transform." I have one more question, Lumin asked. What is Mr. Fool's identity in the dream? Hey, I'm gonna make an alt. Do you want it to be a super fan or a hater? You know what, man? I could just use a regular fan. So, you know what? We'll take a super fan. Why you gotta be 30s? You're a piece of shit, unhinged, okay? If I said hater, he was gonna do that, and if I said that, he was gonna do that anyway, so. Justice and Magician exchanged a glance before producing a yellowish-brown envelope. This contains information about Mr. Fool's identity. You can only open it once you've truly entered the dream. It also contains cash, identity documents, and maps. Lumin took the envelope and pointed to the steam locomotive. We take this? Yes, after you board, I'll have it travel to the edge of this world. You must hold tightly to your lucky coins. When the train reaches the end, they will help you enter the dream. The first time must be this complicated, but afterwards you'll be able to enter and exit normally. Lumin looked at Franca, Jenna, Anthony, and Ludwig and nodded to the 2 major arcana holders. We can board now. This train was no different than the common type seen in Trier. Lumin and the others occupied 2 rows of seats on each side, when the other passengers around them were blurry and indistinct, as if the creator of the stream had been too lazy to elaborate. Through this window, they saw Magician, Justice, and the others waving to them. As they waved back, Lumin and the others heard a shrill sound. Ooh! With the whistle's cry, a cranking sound began, slow at first and quivering, changing from gentle to frequent. The scenery outside the window receded, and the iron-black steam locomotive carrying everyone had left the platform. Are you looking forward to anything particular in the coming future? I mean, like, I'm genuinely just having a pretty good time in general on Hinge. I am looking forward to, like, specifically about, like, streaming, I am looking forward to finishing the book. Not in, like, I'm not enjoying it and I just want to be done way, but in just, like, I'm excited to be able to do so much more stuff, you know? I'm excited to start Reverend Insanity. I'm excited to do some gaming streams. I'm excited to actually make content on Lord of the Mysteries video-wise. I'm excited for so much shit, man. Outside of that, I'm just looking forward to the summer in general. I have my bike now, so just, you know, being able to go out and just take the bike. In the summer is so nice. Like today, it was actually too hot to take the bike inversely, because I got Crimson Desert streams. We can do those too. After the platform had disappeared from view, LEMMiNO observed the conditions inside the train carriage. The seats made of wood, the windows narrow, and the lighting insufficient. The other passengers seemed to be conversing, but there was no sound. Hop on Dragonica? Trash PvE? No. Listen, you want to do PvP? We can play Chivalry, okay? That's it. That's the best PvP. Gradually, Franca saw palaces formed of frost, flying houses above the clouds, and pairs of crystal shoes dancing in the distant square. The scenery outside the steam train began to become dreamlike, as if various fairy tales were merging together. Before long, the iron-black steam locomotive station entered the fog, and nothing could be seen clearly outside the window. How is the group going to wake up Klein? Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. They don't. They go into the dream. Celestial Worthy discovers them. He says, I'll make you guys an offer. I'll make you guys angels when I'm done, if you help me. And they go, fuck yeah, fuck Mr. Fool. Fuck that guy. What has he done for us? I don't think so. Get him out of here. He put Amon into my body. That guy's a piece of shit. Alright? So they all betray him. But, as we know, Klein likes reverse jumpings. Lumi likes to jump people. We know this. This is known. But Klein likes reverse jumpings. He likes it to be like 5-on-1. Because he thinks like, hey, 1-on-1, the odds are, it's too unfair to you, you know? We gotta give you some better odds. So 5-on-1, Klein's like, alright, let me lock in here. He kills all of them, wakes up and goes, sup, bitches. Those guys were minor arcanas anyway. Fuck them. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it, damn it. Before long, the steam locomotive entered the fog, and nothing could be seen clearly. Lumen, Frank, and the others gripped their lucky coin tightly. No one spoke, maintaining silence, worried unnecessary movement may prevent them from entering. In the thick, dreamlike fog, the steam locomotive that had emerged from fantasy continued to race forward. At some point, Lumen heard the clanking of the wheels hitting the rail joints getting fainter and fainter. Suddenly, they heard a female voice. Does anyone want anything? Boxed meals, snacks, ice cream, beverages, local specialties? Franca sat up, her expression shocked and bewildered. I don't think they have these in this world, no? Or in this time period, I suppose. This is like, she stood up, turned around, and looked towards the entrance of the carriage. She saw a woman wearing a white shirt, purple long dress, and a purple red soft hat, pushing a multi-layered metal cart. The cart had colorful items arranged on different levels, beverages in peculiar bottles, and stacked boxed meals. What? Franca's gaze swept to both sides of the cart, finding that the previous shadowy passengers had become clear, wearing clothes that often appeared in her dreams, either spending quality time on different brands of phones, conversing softly with companions, or occasional sounds of children crying. A scene that Franca had dreamt of seeing yet again. Is this Mr. Fool's dream? What's wrong? Lumion asked. He had already noticed the changes in the carriage. Even the back seats and backrests had become soft, as if wrapped in a thick, blue-dyed cotton. He noticed the passengers' clothing, style, and way of speaking was different. But this was no reason for Franca's dramatic change. This was a dream. Franca's lips quivered. It's the same as my world. Lumion understood why Franca had reacted that way, deliberately saying, have you forgotten about the Celestial Worthy? He also comes from that world. Isn't it normal for corresponding scenes to appear in that dream if he's involved? Right. I I was too excited. I overlooked this. This is normal. Why do they think the celestial worthy came from that world? Interesting. Jenna stood up, looked around, and said, "So does this mean we have entered Mr. Fool's dream?" As she spoke, she opened her palm and found this lucky coin was a train ticket that read Ningbae-Yangdu. Although Jenna only recognized the numbers on the ticket, it didn't prevent her from understanding the meaning of the strange characters. Similarly, the passengers sitting across from the aisle understood her intuition, turning their heads to look away. According to Madame Magician's previous explanation, in this dream there was no need to worry about languages. This was essentially communicating with Mr. Fool's subconscious, and he, of course, knew all languages. Oh yeah? Try speaking English. I want to hear this motherfucker's broken-ass English. Go on. Of course, Jenna being able to intuitively understand the meaning of unfamiliar text didn't mean one could comprehend deeply. Jenna had been worried about this issue before, but Madame Magician had reassured them. Now, Jenna finally understood why Madame Magician wasn't concerned about this. These characters were familiar to Franca, and she could serve as the most reliable translator. It should be. Lumen cautiously put away the lucky coin. After noticing the other passengers could understand their speech, Jenna asked Franca, "What are those things they're holding?" Lumen immediately used a bottle of fiction to enclose the 2 rows of seats, using the window as a support, but keeping the barrier transparent. They're cell phones, products of scientific development, integrating telegraphic communication, theatrical performance, mirror messaging, and other effects. They have even more functions that you can't possibly imagine. I'll try to get a few and show you how to use them. It's way too difficult to explain. As she spoke, Franca's face was full of pride. "That's a t-shirt. Those are jeans. Those are sneakers." As she said this, Ludwig started shouting, "I want a box meal. I want snacks. I want beverages. I want beef jerky." The boy was salivating. Madame Magician reminded us not to try to obey the law. Franca looked at Lumion. "I remember there was cash in the envelope she gave us." Lumion opened the envelope and took out a stack of brand new red banknotes. 2,000 per person, he said. "That's okay," Franca nodded and looked at Ludwig. "The child's meal expenses for one day will probably be over 1,000. That's assuming he didn't eat anything good." That's my fucking shoulder. They caught me from the picture, man. There will always be ways to make money. Lumen spent 200 to get 5 box meals. Franca hesitated for a moment and said, "Give them all to Ludwig. Though I'd love to relive the taste, we shouldn't waste money here." After piling the meals in front of Ludwig, Jenna asked, "Can we look at Mr. Fool's identity now?" Lumen considered for a moment and said, "We haven't reached yet. Let's wait a bit longer." Caution was paramount. As he spoke, Lumen took out a mirror and tossed it into the gap between Ludwig and the backrest. He was using a mirror illusion to conceal the exaggerated situation of Ludwig being able to eat 5 boxed meals. He had noticed earlier that someone was secretly pointing what Franca called it a phone in their direction. His intuition told him it'd be better not to let abnormal scenes appear. "Doesn't this train make any noise?" Jenna asked. "Of course not. This is the latest model, and it's fast." By the way, have you guys seen that fucking clip of Japanese reporters watching like the newest train or whatever? That shit is genuinely so fucking cool. I don't know if you guys have seen this. If you haven't. Everyone's going, "What the fuck? What the fuck is that, bro?" Oh, yeah, but we can't have trains in North America because it's too fucking large. Get the fuck out of here. God, this place sucks. As she pointed to the display screen at the center of the carriage, which showed a real-time speed using numbers and symbols familiar to Jenna. "Thank you, Emperor." Franca enthusiastically explained all the details that confused the others. "Is this place even more open than Trier? I can see people exposing their arms and legs." No, we're far behind. There's just a freedom of dressing, and it doesn't offend others. It's a manifestation of being cultured and civilized. In private, we're not as open as them at all. No, excess. We basically, our train like connectivity is so minimal. It's so dog shit. Yeah, no, of course, yeah. No. My gasoline-powered car is the problem here. Not the fact that Taylor Swift takes a fucking PJ to go get fucking coffee in the morning from a different state. Okay, no. It's my gasoline car that's the reason this planet's on fire. It's my fault. Won't our current appearances be strange? Don't worry, just say we're going to a comic convention. What the fuck is that? During this exchange, the train finally emerged from the fog and a magnificent city with countless towering buildings appeared ahead. Each of these buildings seemed to rival mountains in height, their surfaces covered with glass curtains and gleam gold in the sunlight. Private jets are ecologically friendly? Is this true? What? Awareness, how's it going? Wait, you're lying, Kami. There's no shot. What? Okay, what is the... If this is wrong, court... Never mind, it's EU Supreme Court. I thought so. But even what? EU Supreme Court private jet? No, wait. EU court says private jet manufacturing can be labeled green investment. The manufacture of private jets cannot be excluded from a list of activities deemed to be environmentally sustainable. By everyone in chat, a jet whiz. Do you think I'm Jeff Bezos? What the fuck do you think is going on here? The contested list, the Sustainable Finance Taxonomy, is intended to provide investors with an overview of green investments. Oh, that's whatever, bro. So this is basically just saying like, oh, like if someone wants to invest in companies that are green, which is fucking stupid, by the way, don't fucking do that. But hey, not financial advice, want to be clear, but don't fucking do that genuinely. They just can't be excluded from that list. Who gives a fuck? You're secretly a billionaire and just testing us? Yeah, truly. Awareness. You're almost there, buddy, okay? One of these days, you're gonna get the truth out of me, okay? You're gonna realize just how poor I am. Hell yeah, brother. Thanks, Pookie. During the exchange, the train finally... Jenna and Lumen instinctively held their breath as if approaching the realm of gods. It was a miracle on Earth, a city on the mountaintop. Franca also stopped her explanations, her eyes fixed on the city, her expressions a mix of nostalgia and sadness. The train gradually slowed and entering the city, stopped at a clean, bright platform. The other passengers in this carriage suddenly disappeared, as if the dream weaver could no longer maintain them. Lumen and Franca exchanged glances with each other, then led Ludwig off the train, followed by a strangely dressed Jenna, Franca, and Anthony. CCP approved? Hell yeah, brother. No loss in social score for you. Amongst the numerous passengers from other carriages, they took the self-operating escalators to leave the platform, under the guidance of their guide, Franca, making their way out of the station. Seeing the surrounding people gradually dispersing, the area becoming more open, Lumen took out the envelope given by Madame Justice. Klein Dream side story? A little bit, I'm not too familiar. Take a shot every time sequence 7 is mentioned. Awareness. I got work tomorrow, bro. Are you trying to get me fucked up here? What do you think is happening? He extracted the documents related to Mr. Fool's dream identity and took and spread it for all his companions to see. Franca saw a name written in her native language. At the top of the document, Zhou Mingrui. Oh, by the way, there will be a stream on Wednesday. I don't know what it was supposed to be a day stream. I don't know what it's gonna look like now, by the way. Because Dara, Easy, and I are gonna have a chat, since Dara just finished Lord of the Mysteries. So we're gonna have that chat, okay? train station opened and 5 shadows stepped out at the end of the story. Thank you. After quickly reading... Oh yeah, I'm about to be like, hey guys, do you want to hear something about COI? I forgot everything about COI, I'm not gonna lie to you. Hey guys, there's like more evil organizations. I don't know any of their names though. I didn't keep any notes either, I'm fucked. Whose invisibility is stronger, Sequence 0 Assassin or Sequence 0 Spectator? Spectator, not even close. After quickly reading through the information, Jenna remarked, Mr. Fool's identity in this dream is so ordinary. There's no sign of him at all, being a great existence. What do we do? Franca looked at Lumion. Find an opportunity to make contact with Mr. Fool? The document had already roughly outlined that Joe, that is, Mr. Fool's identity's daily routine. As long as the others weren't too lucky, they could see and interact with him. Earlier, when she saw the name, Franca's heart skipped a beat. She hadn't expected the name of Mr. Fool wasn't in the style of the northern and southern continent, but very close to the style of her country. What do you mean, very close? Is she not Chinese? Hey guys, did you know Chermi Bro is Amon? Yeah. Hey guys, oh, I guess Easy's the only one who even get that fucking spoiler, because Dara doesn't even know who Chermi Boris is. This was, of course, consistent with the current city situation, but if the name Zhou Mingrui belonged to the Celestial Worthy, Franca would understand and accept it more easily, because the title Celestial Worthy of Heaven and Earth for Blessing itself was in the style of her country. Easy as that, like chapter... He doesn't know either? Seer, I am not Chinese, but I will have you know, I'm at a very Chinese point in my time in my life, okay? So, I don't know. Could it be that this motherfucker gave up at chapter 38? Bro. Could it be... Honestly, I should have given up back then, too. Could it be that Celestial Worthy has gained the upper hand to the extent that Mr. Fool's dream city is the same as my motherland and even took a name like Zhou Mingrui? As Franca muttered, Lumen thought for a few seconds and said, let's not contact Mr. Fool yet. We'll observe the people and events around him for a few days. As the team leader, Lumen didn't just give orders and explained, Mr. Fool himself is certainly under loose monitoring by the Celestial Worthy. If we rashly contact him, it would be easy for us to be discovered. Additionally, although Madam Justice's information doesn't include Mr. Fool's daily routine and the people he frequently interacts with, I still want to observe for a while myself. This isn't about distrusting the abilities and intellect of the major arcana, but I feel they know too much background information, which might interfere with their judgment, preventing them from discovering subtle clues. Cognitive bias, Franca summarized. Some people mentioned in the information, some people mentioned in the information may no longer be in contact with Mr. Fool, but also observe them just in case. Then, let's first go and rent a place to settle down, in one of the areas marked on the map, Jenna said. The marked locations were all residential areas, close enough to Mr. Fool's current residence to overlook, but not too close. This should feel like a GTA 5-player roleplay server, true. Listen, you wouldn't believe it, I love playing a GTA roleplay, because then I just roleplay as a criminal, and I'm like, bro, I'm just playing GTA, you guys are idiots. I have no objections, Franca said. Then I'll get a taxi first. As she spoke, she reached into her pocket of her red jacket, fumbling for a few moments before realizing no phone. Let's buy 5 phones nearby for a few hundred each. No, 4 phones and a children's smartwatch. Without phones, life in the city will be impossible. Sometimes, what can be done with a phone doesn't need to be done with beyond our abilities. The latter is more likely to lead to us being exposed. I think the previous lucky coin holders may not have paid attention to this, which is why they were quickly discovered. Alright, Lumen said. So, where do we go to buy them? Lend me the lie earring for a moment, Franca chuckled. So, like your daily life? Yes, not. Between 8 hours of working and like 2 or 3 hours of stream and an hour at the gym, I find indescribable amount of time to do crimes on a daily basis. I actually try actively to commit crimes while I'm working. You know, dual purpose. In fact, I like to also try and commit crimes while I'm streaming. Dual purpose. This is why people stay poor. See? They just want to do one thing. Nah. Nah. First job, crime. Second job, crime. Gym? Believe it or not, crazy crime. After putting on the earrings, she adjusted her hair color and eye color, modifying them slightly. In an instant, she blended in with the passerbys around her. At this moment, a slightly chubby young man passed by Franca, and Franca approached. "Could you help me with something?" The man, dazzled by her beautiful face, said, "What is it?" "I lost my phone. Could you?" The man instinctively took out his phone, then came to his senses. "You're not going to ask to borrow my phone to make a call, are you? Such an old scam." Franca sighed and said, "I just wanted to borrow some money for food." Before the man could even respond, "Just kidding. How could I use such a cliched scam? I just wanted to ask if there's a mall or phone store nearby. If you don't know, can you check on your phone?" Sounding harmless, with the phone in my hands the entire time, the man cautiously searched and gave Franca directions. "Thank you," Franca said. Hey, there's people having 2 whole families without them knowing while having a full-time job. Just gotta put your... Truly, hey, awareness. And think about it. Back in the day, the economy used to be so good, a man working a blue-collar job could support 2 families. None of the wives ever worked. And the fucking boomers have the fucking gall to say you guys have it easy. These fucking bum bitches, bro. Genuinely. The man's eyes glazed over and he asked as if struck by inspiration. "Do you want to be a celebrity or a live streamer?" "Are you a talent scout?" Franca asked. It had been a long time since she chatted with someone like this. "No, but if I could sign you, I'd become a talent scout. So beautiful. Can I get your number?" Franca understood that this guy was complimenting her looks and everything was just a setup. Tisk, tisk. People these days. Even when I used to play murder mystery games, there weren't so many tricks. "Didn't I tell you I lost my phone, so I have to change numbers?" With that, she didn't give him a chance to harbor any hopes, waved him goodbye, and jogged back. Dude, can I say it? That guy's kind of a bitch, though. A girl he finds this pretty was gonna ask for his phone, and he said, "Scammer," and then he's like, "Damn, can I get your number, though?" Bro, never now. The chubby young man watched her go and muttered, "Group of otakus." A half an hour later, Franca led Lumen and the others out of the nearby mall. They had used the identity documents and cash provided to buy 4 phones, 1 off-brand children's smartwatch, and 5 SIM cards. Except for Franca, who was constantly tapping her phone, and Ludwig, who occasionally licked the smartwatch, everyone else was just holding theirs like bricks. "I'll teach you how to use it once we settle in," Franca said, having linked the ID documents and associated bank cards with the corresponding apps. Instead of going to a branch or an ATM, she took out a microloan and started to call a car. Yo, there's no shot. You're telling me that she just said, "Listen, take out high interest rate loans. I'm never going to have to pay it back in the shithole." Her first thought is buy a phone. Second thought, commit financial crimes. My God. True. And you guys wonder why I like Franca so much more than Jenna, okay? She's so clever. Just then, a motorcycle roared past, almost grazing her, and the wind from its passing slapped her face. No, awareness. I was thinking, imagine Klein wakes up and he's like, "Bitch, you think I didn't notice you scammed one of my personalities out of some money? You will not have access to your major arcana holder until you pay me back, bitch." Franca angrily looked at the motorcycle and cursed, "Racing on the street, are you in a hurry?" As she finished speaking, the motorcycle swerved to avoid a light truck from a moving company, only to find a hole dug for repairs surrounded by barriers. The motorcycle swung his tail and crashed into a nearby utility pole. With this commotion, the motorcycle parts flew in all directions. "It's not my fault," Franca said. "Although demonesses were skilled at curses, they didn't work through mere words." In Chernobyl. Just as she was about to call for an ambulance to see if the motorcyclist could be saved, the helmetless rider stood up with a scratch pushing the motorcycle away. He's fine with that? And then a thought occurred. A beyonder, she whispered. Let's go take a look, Lumen said. Taking advantage of the green light, they crossed the intersection of the accident site, seeing that even the utility pole was deformed. Lumen cast his gaze at the ground, crouched down, and pulled out an ordinary-looking white paper figurine. Paper figurine substitute? One of the Celestial Worthy's subordinates, Jenna frowned. Possibly. Let's use dream divination to recall his appearance, Lumen said, stuffing the paper figurine back into its original position and quietly using a demoness's flames to erase any traces he may have left. Franca grumbled. Dickie, how's it going, man? That guy didn't look anything like a Beyonder from the Seer pathway, racing on the street and even crashing. All the Seers I know are cautious and cunning. As she complained, she used her phone to book a car. Soon, a white sedan stopped in front of them. Although Franca had already explained what internal combustion engine cars and electric cars were, when they got in, they were still a bit shocked. The ordinary electric car, similar to a hired carriage, felt luxurious, as if the words civilization and technology were written everywhere. Anthony sat in the front passenger seat. Why the fuck would you make Anthony sit there? Why would Franca not sit there so that if the passenger has any, or the driver has any questions, she can answer? What? The cold air from the air conditioner dispersed the summer heat as the vehicle carried Franca, who couldn't conveniently explain things in such a setting, and the silent Lumen and the others arrived in their destination in just 20 minutes. As they got out, Anthony gave Lumen a meaningful look, gesturing for him to look at the driver. Lumen walked to the front door of the vehicle and peered in, noticing the driver had a wide forehead, a gaunt face, slightly curly black hair, nearly pure black eyes, and a monocle. Amon. Dude, yeah, Amon is just doing all the side. Amon said, bro, you know how I can split into a million different beings? Let's just do everything. You want to go be a taxi driver for a day? You want to go be another deity's angel? You want to just do all the side jobs in the universe? You want to go fucking cut some dude's grass? Just see what it's like. Amon said, hey, you gotta learn of humanity. And he said, how better to learn of humanity than to go do all the jobs? Amon? How did he get in? Is it a false image created by Mr. Fool? It should be real. He recognized me, Lumen said. It's okay, Franca said. Madam Magician said that in the matters pursuing the Celestial Worthy and awakening Mr. Fool, he is on our side. Not even for fun, just for the fun of it, yeah. But Madam Magician also said that he probably doesn't want Mr. Fool to wake up too early, Lumen said. On the top floor of the old building without an elevator, Franca looked at the slightly musty rental apartment and grumbled. In this situation, for such a rundown place, even renting the entire apartment cost $2,200. The rental apartment had 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchen, and a living room that doubled as a dining room, each room quite small. The master bedroom had a balcony, and the building was over 30 years old. Even for such a rental, Franca had to use a demoness's instigation and leverage to negotiate the price down to under $2,500. It's fine, Jenna said. It was much better than where she and her family stayed before. Lumen glanced at the cash in his hand and said, we only have $3,000 left. Even with what you borrowed, it's not even $6,000, and we still need to buy ordinary clothes. We can't go out like this every day. It's okay, Franca said. I can borrow again from each app, and so can you. Add it all up, and it's enough to support Ludwig for many months. Given such a long time, we can earn money. Why is borrowing money so easy, Jenna thought. In Trier, whether pawning items at a pawn shop or borrowing, it wasn't a simple task at all. But now, Franca just tapped her phone a few times and borrowed a sum of money. Was it like this for everyone? Or did the demonesses get such special treatment? No, it's quite easy. Even the poorest people have some value. If all else fails, they can be taken to have their organs sold. Average Chinese loan shark. Obviously, she didn't like how easily online loans were, but when she had taken out a bunch of microloans to support Ludwig and the whole team, so she couldn't say the rest of what she was thinking. Franca took out the gold box that Madam Magician had returned from the traveler bag and asked, "Are there places here that buy gold?" The space containing in the traveler bag had also significantly shrunk, now only equivalent to a storage room. "There are, but they're strictly regulated. We'll see if there are any illegal channels later," Franca said. "Illegal channels? When we try to sell gold through such channels, would they see us as outsiders? Easy to bully or easy to report to the police?" "You want to fish again?" Franca gave Lumin the side eye. "Just send Franca off as an escort?" Now there is a man of sheer relentless focus. Said, "You know what? You know who we need to send out? Franca, who's already super unfamiliar with her sexuality." And we're like, "Yeah, we gotta send you out. Chop, chop, bitch." Jenna would do this for the fun of it, of course, but no. It's gotta be Franca. Get on it. "This is called receiving gifts from kind-hearted people," Lumin smiled. "For this kind of black-on-black crime, there probably won't be any report to the police. It shouldn't affect our law-abiding image, right?" Okay, black-on-black crime is not the way to refer to this, bro. Dude, it's not me, I swear. The book says it. For this kind of black-on-black crime is crazy. No, don't, you can't do this to me. Though long-term daily influence from Aurora and Franca and being in the corresponding environment, Lumin would gradually become proficient in using certain terms. "Can't you just find a proper job?" Franca sighed. "That would interfere with our observation." Lumin reasoned. "That's not true. What if the job could help you become Mr. Fool's colleague?" "That's true." Lumin's gaze moved from Franca's face to Jenna and Anthony. "Speaking of which, the company Mr. Fool works for was started by Emperor Roselle," Franca recalled. "Oh, I do remember this. Oh, I remember this dream now. The Emperor's real name wouldn't happen to be Huang Tao, would it? According to the Major Arcana holder, it would occasionally be the Emperor's own projection, but most of the time it's a fake person woven by Mr. Fool in the dream. Well, now, only the latter possibility remains. Who knows how long it will be before the Emperor gets a chance to resurrect. The Emperor's eldest daughter, Bernadette, is named Bernie Huang. What a cute name. Restrain yourself. Bernie, no, Princess Bernadette often projects her consciousness here. She seems to have a similar item to the lucky coin, Jenna reminded. I or Anthony will apply for the job. If a demoness enters the company, it may cause a few troubles, and make it difficult to keep a low profile. So was actually Roselle logging in sometimes? He said, "Damn, bitch, stay away from my daughter." And he said that shit with his chest. Lumin brought the topic back to the gold matter. "If I sell this golden box in the dream, will my gold box in reality disappear? If not, can we just sell it over and over by leaving the dream and returning?" Everyone was stunned. Is this the influence of Amon's boon? It probably won't work, Lumin said. Mr. Fool is a great existence who controls air and loopholes. He wouldn't leave such an obvious problem. I suspect that selling the gold in the real world, in the dream, is equivalent to sacrificing it to him. I think so too, Franca said. As they spoke, he said, "I don't buy this whole uncle act, you motherfucker. Stay away from my daughter." As they spoke, dozens of quiet black flames gathered around the demonesses and the male-appearing Lumion. These flames flew to various parts of the room, bursting away any possible insects. Originally, Lumin could have engulfed the entire room in the demoness's black flames to complete the cleaning. But now, he could only exert the standard of a sequence 7. One-shot awareness. After finishing the cleaning, Franca began teaching Lumin and the others how to use their phones and guiding Ludwig on how to play with his smartwatch. Unknowingly, the sky darkened. "I'm hungry," Ludwig said. Franca lifted her gaze from her phone and looked at the sky that had turned to dusk and said, "Phones are so much fun. Time flies so quickly." The amazed Lumin, Jenna, and the others put away their phones and went to the restaurant to avoid Ludwig causing trouble out of hunger. They hadn't even allocated who would sleep in which room yet. After leaving the old complex, Franca glanced at a row of shops and said, "Based on my previous observation, the city's prototype is the one I once toured. The cooking standards of these side shops must be much higher than big restaurants, and even suitable for people who can't afford high-end places. Let's see to the first one. Les Ludwig wait. She was pointing at a small restaurant just to the left of the residential complex. Before going out, LEMMiNO and the others had already adjusted their hair color, eye color using the lie earring and modified their features. Although they still attracted hidden or bold glances as beautiful men and women, at least they didn't stand out as so easily foreign. I like to imagine, yeah. And they get in there like 2 weeks later. They pop out of the dream and everyone's like, hey, how'd it go? You were in there a long time. They go, Instagram is awesome. They're like, what the fuck are you talking about, mate? Frank had chose one of the tables and said, the specialty is spicy food. Can you handle it? Didn't you say that before the essence of spiciness is a kind of pain? What's there not to handle? I mean, said. What kind of crazy theory? Not. Imagine. Alder's the first Tarot Club member to enter the dream, okay? He comes out, he's like, you guys wouldn't believe it. Mr. Fool is such a great existence. He brought himself down to our mere level because he knew we would have difficulty merely comprehending his great existence if we saw his truest form. Even in this state, he thinks of us first. He truly is the most magnificent great old one. Frankie gave him a challenging look and then turned to Jenna. Not everything is spicy. There are sweet and sour dishes, and some that focus on the umami flavor. Two that I really like are Kung Pao chicken. And fucking some shredded pork. I can't pronounce that shit. Can be made non-spicy. The proportion of sweet, sour, and other flavors might be different in each restaurant. It takes luck to find the type that best suits your needs. The two most satisfying times I had were once in a time-honored restaurant and one in a hole-in-the-wall like this. Kami, can I ask, what music do you have me playing right now? Sharon watching him stroke it. That's just called a win-win in my book, awareness. I don't even know what we're talking about, man. The Kung Pao chicken in the time-honored restaurant was adjusted to a lychee paste flavor. Whoa. Using only chicken thigh meat, tender, not dry. The shredded pork in that hole in the wall only used chopped scallions as side vegetables with sweet, sour, salty, and pickled pepper flavors all mixed together. Different from common practice, but amazing. Should we order a few bottles of beer? We really have a full team dinner like this. Though I don't like bottled beer, I'll make do. Ever since introducing the phones, Frank had maintained an excited stare as if back on home turf, constantly introducing and sharing. LEMMiNO didn't mind this fellow showcasing such enthusiastic host-like attitude, taking over as the team leader. The nights darkened late, and even now, just after 7, the sky was still bright somewhat. The breeze blowing past brought a hint of coolness from inside the restaurant and other shops, making the eating and drinking crowd increasingly lively. Jen observed them for a while and said, there's a strange sense of relaxation here. You can play what you want, your admin? Oh, okay, sounds good. Yeah, no, Persona's good. I was talking to the earlier one. She had seen people eating by the roadside in Quartier de Jardin Boutique, but never like this. This is one of the things I miss most, Franca said. At this moment, a woman with smooth, glossy black hair tied in a simple ponytail, wearing a short-sleeved t-shirt and fitness shorts, came to the entrance of the restaurant and said, how long do I have to wait for takeout? Sia, you're late today, the owner commented. Before Sia could answer, someone shouted, catch that thief! Catch him! A figure ran past the tables, gripping tightly a diamond necklace. As he ran past Miss Sia, she suddenly raised her foot and delivered a side kick. The thief was kicked several meters away, falling to the ground. She's quite fierce, Franca said. Is that Sia Tiss? The one who shares an apartment with Mr. Fool? Was it you or Easy who didn't get the name Sia part for ages? Could be either or, honestly. I don't remember most of the side story. Fuck, I don't remember most of the main story at this point. It's been so fucking... Dude, it's been so long since I finished. It's not even funny. It's the... Yeah, no. No, I know who Ciatis is. No, I'm not what I... Ciatis. Franco quickly examined her face and the ears of the woman. According to the information, Ciatis, who currently rented the same apartment as Mr. Fool, was an ancient elf in reality. Her boyfriend, Mobet, was a Viscount of the Fourth Epoch Solomon Empire and a member of the Zoroast family. Franca withdrew her gaze. This was the professionalism of an assassin. As for previous blatant staring, she wasn't worried about being suspected. Her action of kicking away a thief drew everyone's attention. Her ears are pointed slightly, and her facial features are consistent with local residents. It should be her. Damn it, could the ancestry of the elven race really be transmigrators? Lumin glanced at Ludwig, who was gnawing at the end of a chopstick, and said, "Could she be the Celestial Worthy? Or could she be a Beyonder subordinate?" It doesn't seem likely. Franco resisted the urge to look at her again. The Ciatis in the dream should be a fake person woven by Mr. Fool's subconscious based on dreams. A fake person could be the Celestial Worthy, or could be used by them, Lemon said. For some reason, seeing his smile, both Frank and Jenna's hearts beat a little faster, feeling that his male form had lost some of its handsomeness aura compared to before, but gained more beauty. When he smiled, it was like the sun shining on them. Oh, right. Although Lumin's consciousness is still male, the modifications to his body by the potion have been recognized and remembered by his consciousness. Lumin continued, Ciatis is one of the closest people to Mr. Fool, living in another room in the same apartment. Why couldn't such a person be the Celestial Worthy? Why couldn't she be controlled in some way? The closer someone is to Mr. Fool, the more suspicious they are. Right. Anthony rarely took the initiative to share his own views. In the information, the Oracle mentioned that Ciatis and Mobet had only contacted Mr. Fool's Angel of Redemption, the incarnation walking on Earth, Girm and Sparrow, and they are already dead. To Mr. Fool, they are neither important nor special. Why would the living ones with Mr. Fool be so close? Be these two, and not other people. That is suspicious, Frank and Jenna said. I mainly wanted to make one point clear. Right now, we focus on observation, supplemented by analyzing the content and information we have. Absolutely do not contact Mr. Fool, and we should try not to contact these people around him either. The closer they are, the less we contact. One of the people is Celestial Worthy. I don't know if Cuttlefish is going to make it one of the ones we know or a new character. No. Fun fact. Zhou Mingrui is actually the Celestial Worthy, and Ciatis is actually Klein. It was actually going to be obviously the other way around, but Klein said, no, watch this, and errored, and used error to switch that around. That would be a plot twist. Pre-read, I'm that good. Think of it more like probing. Jenna and Franca grasped Lumin's idea, as they were about to inquire more when the dishes were cold. When the cold dishes were ready and brought out, rather. When the waiter left, Franca picked up her chopsticks and easily opened the bottle caps and poured a glass for everyone. Except Ludwig. Franca tapped her glass full of golden liquid on the table and said, "The past cannot be retrieved, the future cannot be known. Let us toast to the fact that we are all together now." Lumin shook his head with a smile, but still clinked glasses with Franca, Jenna, and Anthony, then tilted his head back and gulped it down. Franca was the first to finish drinking, wiping her mouth, and saw Lumin's Adam Apple moving as he drank. Damn. Anthony glanced at Franca and Jenna, drinking boldly and their unconscious small movements, then even at the men and women around them. He sighed silently and tried to make himself even less noticeable. Why? Ludwig had already started quickly eating the cold dishes like garlic pork slices, sliced pork head meat, and shredded spicy pig ears? What the fuck? Lumin took an inconspicuous mirror from his pocket and placed it on the corner of the table. Franca came to her senses quickly, and once again filled a beer for everyone except the child. "Cheers to the past experiences and future hopes," she said. Her passionate tone and high spirits gave everyone a slightly tipsy feeling, and while Anthony felt like he was back in his military days. Amidst the crisp clinking sound, they temporarily set aside their inner depression and worries. Excess, I'm closeted, okay? In the rental apartment. We spent $600? Jenna asked. They'd spend 1/10 of their funds in one meal. It's not expensive. That fellow eats like 10 people, and we drank, Franca said. It's fine, I'll arrange a few more microloans. You should all get one too. We still need to go out and buy some t-shirts, pants, and clothes, by the way. How about we find a time tomorrow to go wholesale market shopping? We also need to replenish food for Ludwig. Lumen said he needs to eat every 2 or 3 hours. Franca pointed to the rooms and said, Anthony, you choose first. Anthony didn't hesitate and chose the smallest one, which was also not on the same side as the other two. You'll sleep in the master bedroom with Ludwig? Franca asked Lumion. The second one will do, except for his big appetite. He's a normal kid. He won't be cramped sleeping in the second bedroom's bed. Lumion understood that one of his tasks was to keep an eye on Ludwig, not letting him get away out of the dream prematurely out of fear or refusing to come back. Bro, genuinely, that's a true awareness. That's literally where my mind went to as well. Alright, Jenna and I will sleep in the master bedroom, Franca said. In that time that followed, she borrowed another 10,000 microloans, with Lumion, Jenna, and Anthony each getting 3. Bro, can you help them? They each got 3 and you got an additional 10? Why are their credit scores so low? After doing this, Franca, with great willpower, put her phone down, turned on the light, and carefully read the information related to Mr. Fool, which she had only browsed earlier. Before they knew it, the night grew deeper, and Ludwig, another cry of hunger, brought them back to alertness. Even just reading the information, I feel like my head is in a daze. Is this the status of a great existence, Lumen thought? When we study this again, we shouldn't exceed a half hour each time. Klein gets closer to losing. Yeah, he's like fighting, and every loan they take with no intention of paying it back is like they're pricking him with a needle from behind. He's like, ah. Let's go eat outside Mr. Fool's neighborhood. Although Mr. Fool doesn't come out for late night snacks every day, at least we can observe the people who frequently appear around the neighborhood. Jenna was about to respond when she suddenly noticed the scenery outside the balcony. She walked over and gazed out, the bright, warm light shining from countless buildings and windows. This night view was much more vast and dreamlike than that of Trier, or the new city of Silver. Lumen also focused his gaze for a while until Ludwig tugged at the sleeves of their shirts. Let's go, he said. Franca said to Jenna, later we'll find a tall building with a good view to take another look. After leaving the neighborhood, they followed the map and circled around to outside Mr. Fool's neighborhood and chose a barbecue stand. Just as the grilled beef arrived, Franca noticed Lumen's gaze focused on one direction. What's wrong? Lumen said. Lumen pointed with his chin. I see the Oracle. The Oracle? Everyone looked in the direction and saw a hooligan. Oracle Danitz? Let's go! I don't know if it's a consciousness projection or a fake person. Seemingly sensing their gaze, the Oracle turned around and looked over. He then quickly walked up to Lumion and said, would you be interested in dream tutoring classes? Dream tutoring? I wish we see the... I know... Awareness. This is the human condition, right? We always want what we don't have. If you live in a big city, all you want is to get away from it. You're like, oh god, I'm so fucking sick of just looking at fucking buildings all fucking day. This is so horseshit. This is not what we were meant to live like. This is cancer. Okay, I need to get away from here. And then you live in like rural areas and you're like, man, it'd be so pretty, you know, all the lights and stuff. Fucking, who gives a fuck about looking up? And fucking everyone's seen this shit since the dawn of time. Who gives a fuck? It's the human condition, man. The grass is always greener on the other side. You want this, you want that, you want that, you want that. You can never okay with what we have. Lumen examined Danitz's eyes for a few seconds and gave Jenna a meaningful look. Now, Franca no longer needed to digest the affliction potion. Jenna instantly understood Lumen's intentions and asked, do you have any courses suitable for children? She pointed at Ludwig, causing him to tremble. This made Jenna feel the obvious digestion of the affliction potion. Of course we do! From foreign languages education and logic courses for 3-year-olds to vocational training for adults, we have it all. As he spoke, his gaze couldn't help but move back and forth between Jenna and Franca a few times, seemingly stunned by their beauty. Jenna took the flyer and examined it. When we have time, we'll bring him around. She kept in mind the plan LEMMiNO had made, focusing on observation. Hearing Jenna's words, Ludwig's face showed obvious bitterness. He could only grab a handful of grilled beef skewers and fiercely tear off a few more pieces to soothe his inner wounds. Dude, can I say it? Frank is gonna be so disappointed the first time Jenna exceeds her in sequence. Oh, she's gonna genuinely want to kill herself. Alright, remember to mention my name for a discount, Dennett said. My surname is Da, and my given name is Neezy. After saying this, his gaze lingered on Jenna and Franca's faces before he unhesitantly turned around and continued walking. You should be a fake person in the dream woven by Mr. Fool's subconscious, Anthony said. Indeed, he didn't show any special qualities, like an oracle. He obviously didn't recognize me. Since he's woven by Mr. Fool's consciousness, it shows that in Mr. Fool's perception, Dennett is someone who likes women but won't be confused by them, with relatively strong willpower. This conclusion was drawn from Dennett's behavior of being attracted to the demonesses, yet not flirting, lingering, or talking too much. It may not even be willpower, but ethics. Or he may have someone he likes and is willing to restrain himself for, Franca said. Does this mean what's written in the adventure series is true? The sea rumors say the same, LEMMiNO confirmed. At this time, the four of them mainly observed and didn't eat much, while Ludwig turned his grief into appetite, causing them to spend another 400. Franca put the last piece of grilled eggplant into her mouth, chewed a few times and stood up and said, "Let's go back." As they circled back to their own neighborhood, Jenna glanced at the bright street lamps on both sides and at the pedestrians walking in the night breeze. In Trier, before becoming a Beyonder, she only dared to walk on the streets at midnight, relying on her reputation as Red Boots' reputation and her concealed revolver, but even so, she didn't dare walk too far from home. But here, in this metropolis, people seemingly accustomed to enjoying deep sleep on the streets, Franca had integrated. She was looking ahead comfortably when she noticed a human figure hanging on the outer walls, gently swaying in place. With the demoness's supervision and night vision, Jenna recognized the figure instantly. Yellowish eyebrows, hair of the same color, a red headband wrapped around his forehead, deep blue eyes bulging out, frozen in pain and despair. Dennett. He was hanging from the outer wall of the building, a rope around his neck. He had been hanged. The man who was distributing flyers to the others just an hour ago had been hanged. The Oracle is dead, Jenna said. Who did this? Was it a natural development or done by the Celestial Worthy? They did a drive-by on my boy. We got a slime out there, a whole fucking gang for this, boys. Get your goddamn affairs in order. Shit's about to go down tomorrow. After confirming that the Oracle was indeed Dennett's, Franca exhaled and said it is good that he's just a fake person, so the one in reality won't die along with him. Unless Celestial Worthy said there was an error, and he did. Hearing these words, LEMMiNO's heart stirred. He walked down the alley and came in front of Dennett's corpse. During this process, he continuously observed his surroundings and took out a mirror to perform a quick, simple divination that confirmed that the murderer had already left. Before he got close, he could already smell the stench of loss of bowels and bladder control. LEMMiNO condensed ice blocks on the wall to create protrusions, then climbed up to reach the same height as Dennett's, then put the Oracle, along with the hemp rope, in the mirror. "Want to bury the Oracle?" Franca asked. "To conduct an experiment," LEMMiNO said. "What experiment?" "Based on the contents of the information and details we've observed, we all know this is a dream evolved from Mr. Fool's consciousness. If we hide the Oracle's corpse and don't let Mr. Fool discover or hear about such an incident, does it mean his death doesn't really exist and tomorrow the Oracle will be distributing flyers again?" That is possible, Franca realized. If that is the case, we can find ways to use this point. Major events that happen in the dream that he doesn't know about or hasn't heard of are equivalent to non-existent things. But what if the Oracle doesn't appear tomorrow, or if the police obtained information about this? King Von? But what if the... There may be two reasons, LEMMiNO said. First, each fake person in the dream, besides coming from Mr. Fool's consciousness and memories, also has his subconscious integrated into them, so any events in the dream will be known and recorded. The information mentions that Mr. Fool was an ancient existence awakening from slumber, collecting power and secrets through his incarnation on Earth, gradually reviving. His incarnation experienced the advancement to Sequence 2 Miracle Invoker, then Sequence 1 Attendant of Mysteries. To prepare for the ritual, he established a town called Utopia, where every resident was a marionette. Each marionette had its own destiny trajectory, and all played by Mr. Fool. Isn't this very similar? Except for the consciousness projections, the remaining fake dream people are likely Mr. Fool's divided subconscious. In other words, except for us, everyone in this dream may be Mr. Fool. If we want to truly contact him, we may not need to find his identity. This could be one of our approaches in the future. Was Utopia mentioned in that dream? Or in that information, Frank asked? Did Mr. Fool use this term? It may have been there, but by the time I reached the later parts, I was already dazed. I seemed to be communicating with you, but I have no idea what I was saying. It was there, and the approach I just mentioned wasn't thought up by me either. It was proposed by the major arcana holders, but they didn't have a chance to verify it. Everyone is Mr. Fool, Jenna recalled. The scene they had encountered after leaving the train carriage in the bustling scene. As for the second reason, if the Oracle's death was carried out by the Celestial Worthy subordinates, and that Celestial Worthy also controls the dream, it would certainly let Mr. Fool's consciousness know of the incident. But the question is, what is the point of dealing with such a person? If they wanted to shake Mr. Fool by targeting his emotional weak points, they wouldn't have chosen the Oracle. The Oracle hasn't established any close relationship with Mr. Fool, not even qualifying as a friend in the dream. Strange, Franca muttered. They quickly dealt with the scene using the Demoness's flames and left the alley. As they approached the main gate, they suddenly heard frantic crying out, "Spare me! Please, spare me!" LEMMiNO turned his gaze towards the source and saw that it was a local man, not someone of the northern continent features like Danitz. Seeing the local man curled up by the trees, crying out in a state near breakdown. In Chengdu's crazy seer. Frank had seriously considered whether to call the police, pondering for a few moments, then gave Anthony a meaningful look. Anthony immediately walked into the shadowed area and used placate. The man finally calmed down. What happened? LEMMiNO asked. Having encountered the strange death of Danitz not too long ago and now meeting a mentally collapsed man, he felt this shouldn't be simple either. Just as he was about to speak, he saw Franca and Jenna. His expression twisted and he cried out, "Female ghost!" His voice, exceptionally shrill, filled with fear, alerting even the security guards at the entrance. LEMMiNO threw out his mirror, creating his own mirror maze. Sharon? Franca glanced at him, seeing that he reacted in time. How do I look like a female ghost? Franca muttered. How do we look like female ghosts? I'm thinking maybe Sharon is one of the projections here and she's like a ghost because that's how Klein maybe sees her? The security guard holding a brightly shining flashlight came over and said the sound was coming from here. Why can't I see anyone? He listened again, feeling that the voice shouting female ghost had become distant. The guard froze. Could there really be ghosts? He decided not to deal with this anymore. And only to report it to the police. As he had this idea, he turned back. Through the mirror maze, though the mirror maze was only at a sequence 7 level, 2 drinks! The current dark environment with a few people still allowed LEMMiNO to successfully deceive the guard. He had Franca and Jenna retreat to the edge of the mirror maze, not to be seen by the collapsed man, and signaled Anthony to do another round of placate. Although the mirror maze was only at a sequence 7 level, 3 drinks! The current dark environment... Nope, never mind, 2. It just repeated the same thing again. He had Franca and Jenna retreated to the edge... Nope, already read this too. The mentally broken man calmed down and Anthony asked, "What happened? Maybe I can help." I encountered a Jianshi. A Jianshi? Lumi could roughly understand that this belonged to a type of undead creatures. The man was silent for a moment and looked at Anthony. I'm a hospital orderly. I just took a corpse to the morgue. The corpse was beautiful. Exceptionally so. Her ears a bit small, very cute, enchanting. She wasn't wearing any clothes, and I couldn't resist. That's disgusting. Hearing this, Franca couldn't help but raise her hand to facepalm, bringing shame to the motherland. Perverts everywhere. And just as I pulled up my pants, she opened her eyes. A ghost! After listening, Lumi turned his head to Frank and Jenna. If even the corpse had such a great allure, could it be a demoness? It's possible, Franca nodded. The corpse of a sex addict or a baby cupid could have this effect too, Jenna said. Lumi looked outside the mirror maze and saw no signs of the police yet, so he had Anthony placate the orderly once again. The woman in the sketch was clearly not a local. Then used dream divination to draw a sketch. The woman in the sketch was clearly not a local, looking like someone of the northern continent with striking features. Additionally, it was evident that the orderly had the strongest impression of the female's small, delicate ears and long, beautiful neck. She does look a bit like a demoness, Franca said. Which hospital do you work at? Lumin said. I live nearby, but I work at Mushu Hospital. Mushu Hospital? Franca's eyelids twitched. What's wrong? Everyone asked. This is one of the manifestations of you being able to understand the corresponding words, but not really understanding what they symbolize. In my language, Mushu and Mother Tree are near homophones, and you should know very well what Mother Tree represents. Can the Mother Tree of Desire infiltrate its power into this dream? Jenna thought of this aspect, and for a few seconds and said the possibility of being a baby cupid has increased. Lumin had Anthony further question the orderly about the unusual occurrence, but didn't get any useful answers. He didn't waste any more time. Anthony used hypnosis to make the orderly forget about the recent soothing and questioning and walked him out of the maze on his own. Bro, genuinely, I don't care. I'm sliming this man out immediately, okay? That's... oh my god, you don't deserve to exist. In dispelling the maze and watching the orderly's retreating figure, Lumin said that corpse definitely has some issues, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have them. The desire to violate even a corpse seems much like the corruption of a sex addict. Of course, it could also be that he was enchanted by the corpse to the point of losing control. We've only been here half a day and encountered two bizarre things. True, Lumin confirmed. Perhaps this is how much weight the two calamity pathways carry, he smiled. When I switched back to the hunter, I could almost become an incomplete human-shaped corpse wax candle. Maybe I could complete the corresponding secret deed without relying on anything else. My spiritual intuition tells me that we may encounter that resurrected corpse before long. Then we should take turns keeping watch, Franca said. It is indeed worth being vigilant, Lumin agreed. Tomorrow morning we'll observe outside Mr. Fool's company. But they said they're taking me to Mushu Hospital. I don't think you're that pretty, Awareness. I don't think even you think you're that pretty. I think you'll be fine. Late at night in the master bedroom, Jenna suddenly woke up and saw Franca hugging a thin blanket and sitting with her headboard in the darkness. What are you thinking about? She said. Why would Mr. Fool name his marionette town Utopia? Is there something wrong? That's a term specific to the world I came from, meaning a non-existent country, an imaginary one. Why would he use it? Jenna understood Franca's thoughts. The major arcana holders mentioned that Mr. Fool has been collecting Roselle's diaries. Maybe this was in one of the diaries, or maybe he learned of this term during his long confrontation with the celestial worthy. Or well, didn't you say the ancient sun god was a transmigrator? Why can't Mr. Fool be one too? That's what I think. The more I think of his origins mentioned, the more I suspect, Franca said. Don't suspect, verify. When we awaken him, you can ask him whether he's a transmigrator or not. After confronting the celestial worthy for so long, he must know the secrets of the transmigration. He may even be able to help you return. For now, don't think about it. Just focus on helping him. Right. Thinking about it now is pretty useless anyway. For me, awakening Mr. Fool is no longer just a task of the Tarot Club, but no longer just something that must be done to survive the apocalypse. After chatting for a while, Franca lay back down, inhaling Jenna's scent and falling into a deep sleep. After Franca was asleep, Jenna got up, opened the master bedroom, and walked into the living room that doubled as the dining room. LEMMiNO was sitting by the wooden dining table, staring blankly at the window. It's my turn to keep watch. Go rest, Jenna said. What were you and Franca talking about? LEMMiNO said. Jenna summarized the key points. Right. Give her a goal. Motivate her. Tell her not to act and tell her not to think too much now. When it's daytime, I'll find a chance to consult Anthony again to see if anything needs to be done. What were you thinking about? Jenna asked. LEMMiNO looked in that direction as well. What met his eyes was the scene in the neighborhood. At this moment, only 2 or 3 households in each building had the light spilling out. I was wondering if Aurora used to live someplace like this. Damn. Next morning, after cleaning up in the master bathroom, Franca walked into the living room and immediately saw plastic bags piled on the wooden table. These bags containing various foods. Next to them were soy cups and bottles of milk. The aroma permeating the air felt familiar and tempting to Franca. Who bought all this? She asked. You don't really need me as a guide anymore. Is this really a foreigner who's been here less than 24 hours? Me, of course, LEMMiNO said. You bought so much breakfast. Did the shopkeeper find it weird? I didn't buy it from one place, LEMMiNO said, looking at Ludwig, who had bitten off half a sesame ball, revealing some of the red bean paste inside. Later, one shopkeeper did ask when he saw me carrying so much food. What did you answer? I said I was doing multi-level marketing. Franca's mouth agape, at a loss for words. The shopkeeper had the same reaction, then asked if I was joking. I said yes, as I keep preparing breakfast for a company team-building event. Where did you learn all this? Franca asked. Aurora mentioned them before, and I asked about them, but I still don't quite understand what they mean. But last night I figured it out online. You are amazing, Franca said. He's already surfing the internet. Good thing he hasn't learned to use food delivery apps to order breakfast directly yet. LEMMiNO said to her in an Aurora-like smug manner, I've already applied for a QQ number and a backup WeChat account. Once we finish the observation phase of our work, I'll try adding Mr. Fool. Franca thought about how this guy was essentially a genuine beauty who could switch to a female form at any time and couldn't help but quip. Mr. Fool will think you're selling tea leaves and won't add you. LEMMiNO saw Unk stream. My go. I've tried applying for a QQ number, LEMMiNO said. No, wait, for fuck's sakes. It keeps doubling up for some reason. What? LEMMiNO was a bit confused. Finally, something you don't know. Franca took out a chair and sat down, then tore open the milk. After doing so, she began educating LEMMiNO and Anthony, who was silently eating breakfast and on the internet, on some internet common sense. Towards the end, Franca pondered and said, although you're quick at adapting and integrating, I still don't think you should have made that kind of joke when buying breakfast. The kind of joke that leaves a strong impression. And you're quite handsome. So the owner will definitely remember you. Not conducive to our plan. If we weren't concerned about this, afraid of becoming too famous and attracting attention, we could start a live stream and make money. And take Ludwig out to buffets. Dude, true! Oh my god. The amount of money you could make, you'd be like, guys, you don't understand. If you don't watch, this child will starve. You think I'm fucking kidding? Watch him. Watch him eat. The buffet, it's finished. They ran out of food and the boy, still hungry. How you think I'm paying for this? Help me out here. Leave a like. Indeed, I'll be more careful. I'll have Anthony go buy things from now. LEMMiNO praised Franca. You're even more attentive than me. Franca used chopsticks to pick up a section of dough sticks and stuff it in her mouth. "Oh, this is amazing," she said. Of course, I've seriously acted as an assassin before. Definitely not the kind of assassin who thinks killing everyone who sees me is equal successful stealth. They chatted idly for a while, and Jenna got up and started eating breakfast Lumen put in the traveler bag earlier, which Ludwig hadn't discovered. Just then there was a knock. Lumen and Franco went to open the door one after another and saw two people in police uniforms. The leader had a receding hairline and grey eyes. The one behind him had black hair and green eyes. Someone they don't know and a major arcana holder. Franca's pupils dilated. She recognized the young police officer. It was Mr. Starr. Hey there, I'm like 99% sure this is the one. Franco was about to greet him when she realized Mr. Starr had been locked onto by Celestial Worthy and would be kicked out shortly after entering the dream. The one before her should be a dream image of Mr. Starr woven by Mr. Fool. "Good morning, my name is Deng, the police officer responsible for this area." The grey-eyed policeman smiled. "You just moved in yesterday, right?" "Yes," Lumen didn't hide it. "The police here are so efficient. Do you have a temporary residence permit?" "Captain, it's called a residence permit now," the young man behind him corrected. "Haha, yes, I forgot. Officer Deng laughed. "We haven't had time to get one yet," Frank answered quickly, afraid that Lumen would know what it was. "When you have time, go to the police station across from the New City Garden to get one. If you young lovers get married later and have kids, you'll need this to enroll them into kindergarten." Fast forwarding to marriage so quickly, Frank found it rather funny. "Captain," Mr. Starr reminded. Sorry, we came to ask you something. Call over your friends." When Jenna came, along with Anthony, the officer took out a photo and said, "Have you seen him?" The man in the photo was Danitz. "We have," Lumen said. "He handed out flyers to us last night. What was his name again?" He pretended to think, turning to Jenna. Jenna said, he said his first name was Da. I don't remember his full name, though. He wanted to recommend a suitable tutoring class for children." Seeing Lumen and Jenna speaking like an old married couple, Officer Deng's gaze swept back and forth. Young people these days. "Did something happen to him?" Lumen asked. "He didn't return home last night. His roommate reported him missing and we're investigating." Franca and Jenna resisted the urge to look at Lumen as Lumen spoke. He gave us flyers, chatted for a while, and left. The officer and Mr. Starr asked a few more questions and made notes. After they left, everyone sat back and said, "Is his corpse still in the mirror?" Frank asked Lumen. "It's there," Lumen checked. It was still the mirror world, and Lumen could still freely exit and enter, and he could now directly narrow the range of the mirrors to 500 meters. Then we can rule out the first guess from yesterday. Critical things that Mr. Fool's identity doesn't know about will become real and evolve. The remaining two guesses were that the NPCs in the dream had part of Mr. Fool's subconsciousness integrated into them, and that the Oracle's death was done by the Celestial Worthy. Lumen offered a curt acknowledgement. If it were done by the Celestial Worthy, the disappearance of the body would puzzle them. Besides, the police, there should be people investigating it too. We should be careful. After discussing for a while, Lumen looked at the wall clock and said it seems to be getting late. Franca took out her phone and said it's time to go out. Mr. Fool should be heading to work. I'm worried someone will encounter Amon again if we take a taxi. Last night, I found out online that there's an option of renting a car. Although it'll cost more, it'll be safer. Do you know how to drive? I have a driver's license, Franca said. The identity documents also includes one. I'm asking if you know how to drive, Lumen asked. I got my license in college, and before I graduated, I came to Intes. Where would I have had a car to drive? If you ask me if I know how to drive, the only answer is that I have a license. She felt that Anthony was currently experiencing the dream world, should have already guessed that she came from a different world. With a beyonder's eyesight, hearing, reaction, and physical condition, plus my knowledge, I don't think it'll be a problem. Then let's rent a car, Lumen said. Although Franca felt the pain of spending money, thinking she could borrow more, she suppressed the feeling. How many more loans can... At which point does this become a macro loan that we need to worry about? 50 micro loans has got to be like 10 macro loans, no? Come on. In the temporary parking spot across from the building, sitting in a grey sedan, Lumen and others intently observed the white-collar workers entering the building. Oh, God. Alright, last chapter. Let's call it there, boys. One more chapter, okay? When it came to observation, although Lumen was already a demigod, all his abilities were suppressed to a sequence 7 level. 3 drinks! He felt he wasn't as professional as a spectator, so he gave the backseat position to the closest to the target building to Anthony. In the front seat, Franca had finally managed to complete her parallel parking, resting her elbow in the car. Women drivers, I say. Watching the target area while secretly feeling proud, Jenna turned around, leaning forward and squeezing her head. As time passed minute by minute, Franca suddenly smelled the aroma of meat stewed with spices. She turned her head and saw Ludwig quietly munching on a meat sandwich. It hasn't been 2 hours since breakfast, right? No, it hasn't. I'm thinking this is the eating frequency and portion size in reality too, Franca muttered. She didn't have a direct understanding of how much Ludwig could eat, only a financial concept, but in the 2 days since entering the dream, she had helped Jenna supervise Ludwig's homework and test papers, and they got to witness what it meant to be a glutton. In the dream, aren't all special abilities limited to sequence 7, but he's not eating any less? Ludwig turned around and said, because it's delicious. You'd rather be stuffed than not eat? Lumen asked. It really is delicious, Jenna couldn't help but laugh. Lumen thought for a while and decided to indulge Ludwig for a few days. It really is good, isn't it? Franca became proud again. What I can't figure out is how none of you got diarrhea. My digestive system has endured the burning of flames and ascetic strong resistance to extreme environments, Lumen indicated. Swallowing a ball of fire was an exaggeration for others, but for him, it was an objective description occasionally. Anthony said the mystical form of a spectator was a mind dragon, although there wasn't much improvement in combat abilities. One's physical toughness was increased significantly. Just as Jenna was about to describe herself, Anthony and Lumen both said, Mr. Fool is here. Jenna hurriedly returned to her previous posture. She saw a young man wearing a black short-sleeved polo shirt, light-colored casual pants, and a pair of brownish sneakers, holding a cup of soy milk and carrying a bag of steamed buns. The man had short black hair, simply styled, deep brown eyes behind a pair of non-prescription glasses. His face much thinner compared to the portraits in the files. Mr. Fool. Compared to the original sketch, he's lost quite a bit of weight and become better looking. Could the Major Arcana holder's speculation be correct, that somehow he was somehow misled by the Celestial Worthy into drinking the assassin potion? Oh yeah, he was, wasn't it? Is the Celestial Worthy trying to use gender change to cause cognitive issues and win? The Major Arcana holders mentioned in the files that one of the most important phases for Lumen's routine to prevent Zhou, who seems to have drunk the assassin potion, was from becoming a witch. Yes, I remember this too. He's at sequence... I feel like he's at 8. No? Am I crazy? Or is he still at 9? Did the assassin potion also improve appearance? Lumen asked Franca and Jenna. It mainly adjusts body shape to make the user more suitable to be an assassin, bringing a slight change in appearance, but little. Mr. Fool probably succeeded in passive weight loss, becoming better looking mainly due to slimming down, and secondarily due to the minor improvements from the assassin potion. 8, right? Yeah. Roseanne equals to Celestial Worthy? Oh, I hope not. She felt it was better to refer to the target as Zhou for now. Constantly using Mr. Fool made her feel nervous. Did you notice anything? Lumen asked. Mr. Fool's steps up the stairs were light, consistent with the description of an assassin. Mr. Fool is wearing non-prescription glasses to conceal eyes that no longer are nearsighted, indicating he doesn't want to change his life. Mr. Fool's emotional state seems good. He probably hasn't encountered any incidents yet. I don't know if he's taken the instigator potion, though. Continue observing and recording the people mentioned in the files for now, Lumen said. Okay, Jenna responded. That's Roseanne. Jenna first responded. In reality, she's a civilian staff member of the Church of the Evernight, married with children. In the dream, she's Joe's colleague, uncertain if there's something abnormal. The one wearing a white tailcoat with a long bow tie and long hair is Vice President Wu, suspected to be Ouroboros, the angel of fate of the Aurora Order, a king of ancient times. I know, Roseanne got kids, I know. Until 10 a.m., Lumen and the others finished documenting their first rounds of observation. Emperor Roselle, CEO Huang didn't come today, Franca said. Roselle's image in the dream was a CEO where Mr. Fool worked, a business tycoon. Before Lumen could respond, Franca chuckled, probably still in bed with some actress. Lumen is also a bit disappointed, but there'd be plenty of opportunities. He, who had never attended a university before, was already preparing to apply for security guard position in the Imtis group. Now let's go buy clothes, Lumen said. What's for lunch? At this point, Ludwig asked. Franca, currently responsible for the team's income, said, Who eats out every day? Later, we'll go to a supermarket and buy dozens of kilos of noodles and side dishes. I'll cook for you, all you can eat. As she finished speaking, Franca saw the smile and anticipation disappear from Ludwig's face. She felt no pity or guilt. Damn, I should have let Jenna say that. What a great opportunity to digest the potion. After finalizing their itinerary, Franca drove the car onto the wide road. Inside a large shopping mall, the others and their appearances completely transformed, taking the elevator from the underground parking to the first floor. Franca looked at Jenna again, feeling that a simple combination of a white patterned t-shirt, light blue jeans, white sneakers, and ankle-length socks of the same color gave her a fresh, clean look. It's the type I used to look like. No, still like. Her tall stature and striking features made the ordinary black tee and white leg pants look mature and confident, causing many people to only steal daring glances. Lumen still wore a shirt and pants, but with a more casual, relaxed feel. Their clothes were all very cheap, and Franca had given up on the bulk-priced ones and opted for 10 yuan items, buying a lot. Lumen's gaze swept every corner of the mall, feeling it was spacious, bright, and clean. Franca had no intention of letting everyone wander around. She had headed straight for the escalator to the basement, planning to enter the supermarket. Money needs to be saved. Is this Mr. Fool affecting her? Is it possible? As they arrived at the entrance of the supermarket, they were dazed by the variety of food inside. Franca suddenly paused, instinctively turning her head to Ludwig, finding the boy's gaze already fixed. Let's go back, Franca said. I'll buy the stuff online. In a place like supermarket, kids can't be controlled. Before hearing Franca's words, Ludwig's expression fell. After learning the reason, everyone agreed with Franca's decision. Turning around and walking a few steps, Lumen's peripheral vision caught a figure. The figure had her head slightly lowered, hair hanging down, revealing small, delicate ears, disappearing quickly into the depths of the supermarket. Lumen quickly stopped and said to the others, I may have seen that female corpse. Klein will become a demoness? I didn't say Klein will be a demoness. What are you talking about? Alright, guys. I think we call it there. Good stream. Hour and a half or so. Said it last week on Wednesday. I don't think so. Alright, we'll keep going tomorrow and then go from there. Hopefully we'll try to get to 1,000 ASAP, okay? And then we're laughing. What do we got? Like 300 chapters left? Jesus. That's not too much. 300? 200? I can't remember. Alright, that's it. Have a good night, guys.